This is Arkansas Game Day live at the Chapel Hill Super Regional.
And Battles hits a drive to left field. You gotta get out of here ×4.
ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com's exclusive coverage on the road to Omaha is brought to you by Crane Kia of Fayetteville. Find your next gas saver during our MPG days. Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More excitement, more winning at Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. And by North Arkansas Regional Medical Center, bringing better to you.
All right, so I got a text from Eddie in Clarksville about 5 minutes ago. It reads, "Today, my friend, we punch our ticket to Omaha, and the headlines tomorrow morning read, the Hogs are back." You have an opportunity starting today in about an hour to send yourself to another College World Series under the Arkansas baseball program and under Dave Van Horn. We are live from Chapel Hill this morning. Happy to be with you here on Arkansas Game Day for the next 30 minutes. Myself, Ty Richardson, alongside Drew Barrett. And this trip, this opportunity would not be possible without a few of our sponsors, including Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More excitement, more winning at Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. Crane Kia of Fayetteville. Find your next gas saver during our MPG days at Crane Kia of Fayetteville. And then by North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. Now, the plan, Drew, is to get her done today and then head to Omaha this weekend. But this is going to be a stingy North Carolina team. They've got their best pitcher all season as a lefty, which you've had trouble with in the past. So it's going to be a dogfight today, but Arkansas can be up for the challenge. We'll have to find out in about an hour.
It's definitely going to be a tough one. Got to turn my mic on there before I start talking.
There you go.
It's going to be tough, just like everything you said. Arkansas has struggled against left-handed pitching. It's their ace, and North Carolina is not going to just lie down and go away quietly. They're going to make this one a battle. It all depends on, can Arkansas get pitching performances like they got yesterday? Can you get, I don't know about 6 2/3 like you got out of Connor Nolan, but can you get a solid 4 or 5 out of your starter? Can you get to that bullpen and they keep everything at bay? It's going to be a wild and fun game, and if it goes to Arkansas' side, I think that this is a point of the season we realistically didn't think we'd see.
I need to get on the stats broadcast and see if there's been an announcement of a starting pitcher. I'll do that in just a sec, because I know a lot of you listening right now, you want to know, well, Ty, who's suiting up? And I haven't been on social media as much this morning, so maybe Dave's announced it, maybe it's been announced. But that's a good question that you want to know about. Who is suiting up for the Arkansas Razorbacks? And we'll have to wait and see on that, because you got, as Drew just alluded to, Connor Nolan gave you a gym yesterday. Battled. We had a chance to catch up with his dad, Frank, and I know Frank and Angie were thoroughly proud of their son and the performance, not only just put on yesterday, but last week in Stillwater as well against the opening game against Grand Canyon. And you've had a really solid in these supers last couple years, game one, but you go back to Ole Miss, you go back to South Carolina, heck, you can even go to the College World Series final. We all know what happened against Oregon State. There's been opportunities there that you've either squandered, or just the team like North Carolina State is another example where you've got it done in game one, not so much in game two. I think it was Adam Ford that put out a stat on Twitter. Since 2018, in 3-game series, Arkansas is 0-6 in game number 2. So, Drew, they're trying to change that today. We'll see if they're able to do that.
Oh, you definitely have to. That's not a statistic anybody wants to see next to their team's name, is that you're 0-6 in game 2. And because today's the day that Arkansas doesn't have the pressure on them, right? You can play a little bit more relaxed. Everything is on North Carolina to perform and to be able to win a ball game, because it is, win or go home. The season's over for North Carolina if Arkansas is able to win. So you'd like to see how they play with that less pressure on them today. As it's an important game, but technically it's not the last one either.
It's a good point. We also have to kind of keep that in mind, that it is not the last one. And so if you somehow, some way blow it today, which again no one wants, you still have a chance on tomorrow to come back and get it done. What do you think? 877-377 6963. It's Drew Barrett. It's Ty Richardson. We are live from Chapel Hill, getting you ready for Arkansas baseball. I just saw Bubba Carpenter. I just saw Phil Elson. They'll have your pregame coverage following ours coming up in about 25 minutes. Drew, I know you're jealous because you're a college basketball fan like myself. Phil got a chance to see. I had dinner plans, so unfortunately I didn't get a chance to go. But Phil got a chance to see with his dad, Cameron Indoor, last night, thanks to Coach Mike Neighbors. He set that up. And I know I haven't got a chance to talk to Phil about that yet, but judging by the pictures on social media, I would guess that him and his father had a grand old time.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, when you're in that area of the country, and I'm sure the Dean Dome is pretty nice there in Chapel Hill, but to go to Cameron Indoor, where I feel like I would have the same feeling walking on that court as I did when I walked into Fenway. It's just one of those magical, historic venues, and when you've won as much as Duke, it just means a heck of a lot more, and that is really exciting. That's definitely something I wish I could have taken part in.
To my knowledge, Arkansas has never played there. I think now I know they're 2-2 against Coach K. You lost in 90. You won back again that following season after the NCAA tournament loss in Denver in the Final Four, and we know what happened in 94, and unfortunately we know the outcome of the game in the NCAA tournament this past season. So I know you're 2-2 against Coach K. I don't know about the Duke overall record, but I was joking, Drew, I think you would appreciate this. So Steve Kirshner is the communications director for men's basketball. He's been here 34 years in Chapel Hill doing various things, and I told him, I was like, Steve, you got to talk to Coach Davis about setting up a home and home in Chapel Hill and in Fayetteville. You got to come to Bud Walton Arena, and we got to come to the Dean Dome, because I would think Arkansas fans would thoroughly enjoy that. Arena holds 22,000 people, and I know that I think it's the Carrier Dome is the largest college basketball. Syracuse, it's like 36, 38 or whatever it is. Maybe it's 40s, but it was pretty special. And I mean, you look at the jerseys up on the wall, the Stackhouse, the Wallaces, and then, of course, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the most iconic player from North Carolina. It was really special, and I know Phil probably, again, had a great time at at Cameron Indoor. But back to Arkansas baseball against North Carolina. I think today, again, it's a chance for you to kind of rewrite kind of the Game 2, not catastrophes, but issues that you've had in the last couple years. And pitching's going to be a big deal, and just what they got yesterday was some timely hitting. I was talking to Tommy about this, Drew. You have Peyton Stovall, who the last 2 weekends, man, it looked anything but like a true freshman. I mean, he hits the one yesterday in the top of the 5th to get the kind of rally going, and then after that, Arkansas kind of opened it up a little bit. And so for him to start things, and then, Drew, you end up with the freshman, Hagen Smith, coming in there and closing it. You have a true freshman that starts it, and then a true freshman that closes it. That's pretty unique for Arkansas baseball to have that situation play out as it did yesterday. Oh,
it is definitely unique. And, Peyton Stovall has been playing absolutely phenomenal. The only criticism I guess you could have of his game would be those 2 pop-ups that he missed in foul territory, kind of just misplayed. And, was a little reminiscing to something that happened not too long ago.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and I was just hoping and praying it wasn't going to have the same type of outcome and extend things there. So luckily, it didn't affect the game all that much. And then for Hagen Smith, I mean, what he's been able to do with the pressure that's been on him these last 2 times we've seen him, on Monday against Oklahoma State, and then Saturday, obviously, they're in Chapel Hill. It's been phenomenal. He doesn't look like a freshman. He looks like a very seasoned veteran.
Yeah, for him to come in, and what Dave Van Horn said about him 2 days ago in the pregame press conference is there were times or I guess this was last weekend, in Stillwater, that we thought that in fall ball that Hagen was going to be our closer. Well, it just took a little while. That's not to say that Brady Tiger won't get some impactful pitches today. They just have kind of adjusted who's going to be closing out for him as it stands with this baseball team right now. We're going to get into one more segment here on Arkansas Game Day. Again, we are live from Chapel Hill. Really appreciate Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort, Crane Kia Fayetteville, and North Arkansas Regional Medical Center with all our coverage here in Chapel Hill. When we come back, your thoughts, your texts, your calls are next on Arkansas Game Day.
You're listening to Arkansas Game Day live at the Chapel Hill Super Regional.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see. At Williams Tractor, now WT Equipment in Springdale, with its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by WT Equipment in Springdale today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
Try out the SiriusXM app free for 1 month and amp up your summer. Plug into over 350 channels packed with ad-free music, plus comedy, news, talk, Howard Stern, live sports, and more. Create personalized Pandora stations and dive into the best collection of podcasts curated just for you. So check out all the great
building a new
entertainment
home,
we have
remodeling,
to offer
or
for
simply
free
replacing
on the
old appliances.
SiriusXM app.
If you're building a new home, remodeling, or simply replacing old appliances, let a gas appliance specialist show you how high-efficient natural gas appliances can lower your energy bills and protect the environment. Home heating, water heating, cooking, clothes drying, even generators and outdoor lighting are clean, reliable, and cost-efficient with natural gas. To learn more or to find a gas appliance specialist near you, visit AOGC.com. Natural gas. It's the right choice.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more. With service you can depend on, Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
You know that Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment in Fort Smith is your go-to shop for everything pressure washers. But did you know that they also handle your industrial pump and supply needs too? It doesn't stop there. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment's industrial vacuum trucks can handle dry, liquid, and even sludge removal from several hundred feet away. Leave the cleanup to the professionals. Contact Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment at 782-3762. That's 782-3762. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment, 3116 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith.
The sun is shining, and now is the time for you to come to River Valley Truck Outfitters for all your window tinting needs. The best place in the River Valley to get quality work and the price you will love. River Valley Truck Outfitters can get your tin on. River Valley Truck Outfitters, specializing in window tints, residential tints, and commercial tints. Bring your vehicle to River Valley Truck Outfitters on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, or call 648-8855, your one-stop truck accessory store.
Dads are special, so don't forget Dad this Father's Day at Sody's Wine and Spirits. Sody's has hard-to-find premium bourbons and whiskeys, the largest selection of craft beers with over 600 to pick from, and fill up a growler for Dad this Father's Day. And for the wine aficionados, the largest and best selection of wines in town. Everyone loves Sody's, especially your dad. Experience different at Sody's Wine and Spirits, Phoenix Avenue at I-540 in Fort Smith, and online at mysodys.com.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day live at the Chapel Hill Super Regional.
And Battles hits a drive to left field. You gotta get out of here. Times 4.
ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com's exclusive coverage on the road to Omaha is brought to you by Crane Kia of Fayetteville. Find your next gas saver during our MPG days. Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More excitement, more winning at Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. And by North Arkansas Regional Medical Center, bringing better to you.
All right, we're back here from Chapel Hill in about 15 minutes. Phil Elson, Bubba Carpenter will be with you here on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. And I know that they're really excited to see what Arkansas has today. Drew, before we get back into baseball, I do want to mention these two things to you. So I know you're a guy like myself that likes to go to the hot spots in town whenever you travel or whatnot. There are two bars that I think you'd enjoy. One is called He's Not Here, and the other one is called Might As Well. Now, if those aren't two great bar names, I don't know what are.
Those are pretty good names.
I thought they were pretty good. We've had some great food. I'll say this about North Carolina Tar Heel fans. Outside of the drunk college kids yesterday at 9 a.m. that, as we were driving by and saw my license plate mention the expletive Arkansas, everyone else has been extremely nice. I've gotten about 50 welcome to Chapel Hill from the different fans here, and there's I wouldn't say camaraderie between the two fan bases, but I will say they have been gracious hosts and have enjoyed myself because I've never been to anywhere in North Carolina, similar to when I went to San Francisco. I'd never been to California. Have you been out here to North Carolina at all, man?
No, I haven't spent much time in North Carolina, and it's always good to hear that other fan bases are nice. You know, just like any other fan base, there are bad apples that will spoil the bunch for some, but for the most part, most people are good, decent human beings, and it's good to hear that the fine folks at Chapel Hill are the same.
So we've got predictions coming in the text line, including from Justin Daniels, our buddy over at JD's River Valley Restoration. He thinks Arkansas wins 6-1, and they advance to Omaha. They're driving back from Hot Springs right now and listening to us on ESPN 96.3. And again, just want to remind everyone, we're on all of our ESPN Arkansas radio stations, HitThatLine.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, plus the ESPN radio app as well. So, Drew, what do you think is going to happen today? It is something that, again, as I mentioned in segment number 1, Game 2's Arkansas struggled in since 2018. Do they rewrite that script today and see what happens coming up in just a bit?
Well, obviously, that's the way that you want it to go, right? Everybody wants to go ahead and pack it up, get this over, book hotels, flights, travel plans for Omaha. But it's going to be tough. Like we said, North Carolina is not going to go down easy. They're incredible freshman Vance Honeycutt. He went 2 of 3 yesterday, had their 1 RBI of the game. How was he going to perform? And I feel like when you have a hitting team like North Carolina, who came into this series at the 100 home run mark, that the bats are going to get hot. So can Arkansas keep up with it? I think North Carolina is going to be able to hit the ball a little bit better than they did yesterday. Now, it just does really come down who's throwing it for Arkansas. And, I saw you put out on Twitter yesterday of who should get the ball, who should get the start. And I saw a lot of Will McIntyre's. We've seen Hagan Smith to maybe even start the game. But I think you go back to Zach Morris. I mean, what he was able to do on Monday and the confidence that you had and the good innings that he gave you, I think deserves a second outing here in the Super Regionals.
Well, right now, you've got Will McIntyre listed as your starting pitcher today. So that is just I don't know if it just updated or if I'm just seeing it now. You've got Brandon Schaefer, who we talked about, but Will McIntyre is listed as your starting pitcher. So that is, again, on Stats Broadcast. So that's the best. I would say that's the best resource I have at my disposal right now with letting you know about that. So it looks like Mac is going there on the mound today. And with that being said, with him, Drew, I do wonder how Arkansas kind of sets up the rest of the bullpen. Again, as you just said in segment one, I don't know. I would love to see Mac have a similar performance to Connor Nolan, but Connor's been the most probably consistent pitcher all season for you, and he delivered when it counted most yesterday. Not that Mac can't do that, but I don't know if he has the 6 2/3 that Connor did yesterday.
Yeah, but you really don't need that from him, right? I mean, you were able to get that performance out of Connor Nolan yesterday, and you saved a lot of arms. So your bullpen is really fresh. I mean, you could see Evan Taylor even go today. You could see Hagen Smith go again today. You name a pitcher, they can go today. So I think out of Will McIntyre, you just need to get through 4. Get to that 5th inning mark. Let your bullpen take over. And if you got to bring in a new pitcher every single inning, then that's what you got to do, because you want to end this series today. You want to get it done and get ready for Omaha.
Bruce says 7-5 Arkansas on Facebook. A lot of confidence here from this Razorback fan days. I do wonder just if we could step foot in the dugout right now, just kind of how this Arkansas baseball team is feeling, because they seem thoroughly confident heading in to Chapel Hill. Honestly, what Connor said about the Oklahoma State regional with not a single player on this roster playing postseason baseball outside of Hoover stuck out to me, and we saw them come with that mentality and use it, and they've seemed, at least for game 1, we'll see what happens in game 2, but harness that same energy. It is a 3-game series for a reason, just like a 7-game series is for the NBA Finals, for the World Series. I mean, you can't just have a stellar game 1 and then drop off, which is unfortunately what we saw last year against North Carolina State. UNC's got to bring it today. Arkansas just has to come back with even more energy they did, and just the timely hitting and stuff is also going to be crucial as well. Something you just brought up, Drew, the bullpen, it's also big. I mean, with you using Connor Nolan, Evan Taylor, and then just a little bit of Hagen Smith, you've got a ton of arms that are available today. And I think for Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs, that is a big, big part of today's matchup, with North Carolina spending – they go through 4 or 5 pitchers yesterday. I can't remember.
They only went through 3, and
it was 3?
That was the biggest shock to me, because what we had learned and talked about all week is how willing North Carolina is to make that change, how they're not afraid to hook anybody out of the game and bring in a fresh arm. And the fact they let Max Carlson go 5 1/3 yesterday, I was absolutely shocked that he made it out of that 5th inning.
Well,
they let him keep going.
I kept looking over at Scott Forbes, who is the North Carolina head coach, and what he said is like, man, we were just hoping Connor would lose his slider, and he didn't. But I kept looking over at him to either, because there was guys warming up, and I was waiting for him to step up on the mound. I don't know their pitching coach's name offhand, but I was waiting for Forbes to walk out there with Carlson. He just didn't. So again, Schaefer, I'm forgetting, is it Schaefer or Schaffner? I think it's Schaefer. Schaefer is the best pitcher based on, it seems like, what the people I've talked to on this roster, and he is, again, a lefty. So it is going to be a matchup for Arkansas in years past that they've struggled with, and you don't have to do what you did in Stillwater last weekend, Drew, but you have to get the crucial timely hits, which Arkansas was able to do in yesterday's battle.
That you do, and ultimately, if you get the win today, it's going to be one of those games where I think if Arkansas gets the win, it's going to be a 10-9 or maybe north of a 10-run ball game. I think you're going to see a lot of runs scored today. I think both teams' bats are going to be hot and on fire, and ultimately, who is the guy that's going to step up today? Who's going to be that guy that gets that one extra timely hit and is known as the fill-in-the-blank game, Somebody's going to do it.
We got a text in here from Jesse in Mountain Home. He sees this matchup today as a pitching game. He's picking Arkansas 3-2 in this one. Drew, one last prediction for you before we let you go. What is the final score of today's matchup?
I'm going to say it's north of 10. Give me Arkansas 12, North Carolina 10.
North Carolina 10. So Drew's got them advancing and winning. We really appreciate Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More excitement, more winning at Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. Crane Kia Fayetteville. Find your next gas saver during our MPG days at Crane Kia Fayetteville and by North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. Arkansas game day is done. Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter are next.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps